Hey YouTubes! So this is day 2 of me fixing this oil leak behind the primary. I just got off work, went to my friend's place and picked up one of these special tools to get this nut off so I can remove this bearing race and change the seals behind this piece. Hoping I can just kind of slide this off. There we go. So now that that pulley is out of the way, we'll be able to get this race off. A lot of times this race will go inward and then you have to use a Dremel or something and grind down to be able to get something to clamp on it. But I think because of where it's at, it kind of walked away from the transmission, I'll be able to get my piece on here and you'll see in a second. Motherfucker. Well, that seriously sucked. So, the puller that I use, these pieces attach to the puller itself and it pushes out on the race. And I ended up breaking one of the support arms off inside the puller. So I had to fix that. So I ended up finally shutting off the camera and I went to town on this dude with a torch after I got different arms for my puller. And I finally got this race off. So that was a pain in the butt. That took about 2 hours. Anyway, now that's off. I'm going to continue on, clean up my area a little bit. Here's what's called a 5th gear seal in here that keeps the oil coming out from the transmission. And then there's this main shaft seal with another little seal behind it. So you have to use a pick to get these things out and they're very tedious. So I'm going to start working towards that. That's what's called the 5th gear seal. The splines that are on this transmission drive will damage the seals. So you always want to make sure you use tape on those because they're a pretty tight fit. After I tap in this 5th gear seal, I'll take something with a flat edge that won't damage it. And I'll just kind of make sure that everything's seated all up in there. Next, this seal gets popped out. That's a little more tricky one to get done to. Just like that. Now we've got what's called a quad seal, which is a very thin seal that wraps up in there. The bevel goes on the inside, just like so. And then this gets tapped right in. Now before I put everything back together, I'm going to get some towel and stuff and clean off the rest of this debris. We also have to change this seal, which is the shifter shaft. Same process, you just kind of pry it out the best you can. And then we'll get another one, which is right here, to replace that. Just like so. Try and get a little bit of blue tape so you don't damage the seal. Looks good. Well, I am glad that I started this process, because after inspecting everything and making sure my seals were good before I put the drive pulley on, I found that I had a tear in my belt. It was the original belt. This is a 2005 Dyna, so it's many years old. So I bought a BDL belt. It's their Falcon SPC series. It's supposed to be 33% stronger than the stock. So just got that fitted through. Now we're going to go ahead and get this guy put back on. And then some red Loctite. I like to put 4 dabs on there. And this is a left-handed thread. Okay, which puts it right about here. Now this locking ring gets blue Loctite and 100 inch-pounds. There's the main pulley.